you start off wide, right? With all these options and choices.
Me, I'm looking for substance. So if you can't come with a substance level of conversation, I have no interest.
Okay.
You black man taking a liking to how my lifestyle is living and how I'm going, man. You being intrigued, man. That's very humbling for me, man.
It's some questions that I want to know from the other side of the world.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That we don't necessarily understand. We think we're on an island over here, but I would think my nagging suspicion is that we are a little bit more closer than we think when it comes to politics, when it comes to our leaders, when it comes to the way that we look at power, you know, in the world, and how we can be so drawn to it like a moth to a flame, you know. And I think that has some bad ramifications. Of course, it has some good stuff to it as well, but I think that's more on the materialistic side of things, which is why people are so drawn to power. But I think on the spiritual side of things, it can have some very negative impact for people and the way that they view the world and the way we treat each other, you know? So I'm going to give you a very soft introduction just for people who haven't went to my show yet. This is Kettie, Lollia. She has a wonderful practice called Method for Life, and that involves body control, mind control, trauma therapy, soul awakening, healing, and self-love. And I think all of those things are things that we could all use on a day-to-day basis. So before I get into this, if you guys want to get in contact with Kettie, I'll make sure to put her information and a link down to all of her wonderful things that she does at the bottom of this YouTube video. Okay, so thank you again for coming. I do want to tell everybody she's in Spain right now. You used I want to make sure I get this right because I want to know you a little bit better. You started in Paris, but you have family all the way back in the islands, right? The Virgin Islands, yes. Correct?
Yeah, no, in Guadeloupe, French islands in the Caribbean Sea. Yes.
Guadeloupe. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go into this video. Yeah. I'll give you a little backdrop. I'll give the viewers a little backdrop, okay? It is a video about Donald Trump. And it's about the way that Americans view Donald Trump. On one end of the equation, he's a devil, okay, to some people. On the other side, he is as much a God as any Bible that you could pull up, any religion. To some of these people, he is very high up there on the totem pole. And this young woman who is in the video, she is very excited about Donald Trump. She has something profound to say about him that even makes the reporter, the person who's interviewing her, like, really? I didn't think that was going to come out of your mouth. Okay, so we're going to check it out. Let's check it out.
Trump is the closest thing to God.
Yeah. Trump is the closest thing to God, really?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's what's gonna fix this nation. This nation's corrupt. The only person who's gonna mold us is God first and then Trump.
God, then Trump.
But if God's not there, Trump's not gonna come out. I'll say that. Kamala comes out, Satan's out, and you better be scared. So I believe that Trump is blessed by God.
We are so messy.
So Trump is
We're so messy in
America
America.
For $60.
Like, honestly, we are so messy.
He's profiting off of selling
people.
Bibles. Is that a godly thing to do?
Absolutely, it's a business. He's a businessman. That's what this country needs. What do we need?
And if the business is selling the Bible, that's okay?
That's perfectly fine. What are churches doing? When you go to church, don't they ask you for $1? This whole country's a business.
Hernandez was deported on Tuesday after ICE raided her Miami.
God said, let me show you something. And showed her ass.
So the video, right? The woman is basically confessing to just a random stranger that Trump is the closest thing to God himself. And she even goes further and says, you know, she clarifies, she says, well, yeah, God is here. But if God doesn't do his work, number one, that's jacked up. If God doesn't do his job, okay, just in case God's not feeling like doing his job today, Trump will clearly step in and save the day. You know what I mean? And that's crazy on so many levels, that a person would actually put another human being that close to God. You know what I mean? Period. The other part to this, which we'll talk about as we go on, is this woman is of Hispanic descent, clearly. And unfortunately, if you've been following the U.S. politics and what we've been having going on over here, is we have a department called ICE, and ICE is they're the enforcement to keep illegal immigrants out of the country. So you guys had well, when you were in Paris, I'm sure you had to deal with the influx of illegal immigrants coming from the southern countries and things like that. I've read about that, the people dying in boats. But the same thing is happening over here, where we have a lot of our immigrants who come from Mexico and South American countries, and also from Canada at the top too. But most of the attention is on the people who come in from the bottom. And I got my own suspicions on that. But the unfortunate side of this is there are millions upon millions of hardworking illegal immigrants. First of all, they're coming to this country because in Mexico, we have the drug cartels, and we have so much corruption in South America, to where those people don't feel safe. So they want to come to America for opportunities. And the other part is that we used that labor forever to do our crops, to take care of our crops, to clean our houses, our businesses. But now, since Trump's in office, I mean, he even used illegal immigrants himself before he became the president. But now those people are being kicked out. And if you look online, it's so many videos of these people being dragged through the streets, 15-year-old girls running, trying to get away from ICE, families being torn apart and put into these detainment centers, which pretty much are like cages. So it's so much to go there. What do you think about power from that angle, where people will even try to align themselves with it, even at their own demise, right? I mean, this is not going to play out good for her and her people. So what do you think about that?
You know, for me, the first thing is power doesn't exist if someone is not giving it away. So you cannot take power over people if they don't give it to you. So within the system, within the way that we have been educated and grow up, we have learned that we need to give our power away to someone, to the president, to our parents, to school, to anyone. So we have been programmed to accept that. And it depends on which country we are, in which way we have been programmed to accept that. I would say, for example, you know, this woman saying God, and myself thinking, oh yeah, I come from France. In France, in 1789, there was the revolution. We killed our king and we said, finished. Politics is there and religion is there. You may have your religion if you want, but it doesn't come in the politics. So it means that from my own perspective, when someone is saying that, I think, okay, how do you put them together? So if I would think just basically, like, I don't see why you put them together. When you are being grown up with the religion, which was my case, when someone says that, I say, she's crazy. You know what I mean? Because in my own world, God is someone that I cannot reach. In the Bible, he is really far, and we need to do something so he's happy, and it's not like he does something through us. So in this perspective, if a woman is saying that, I think it's crazy. But already in that case, you give your power away too. because you believe in something bigger than yourself. Yeah? So in all our way of thinking, we have been used to think that there is a power bigger than ourselves. Because God, we cannot reach it, then people need, it's like we need someone, you know. That's why the gurus are so popular. It's so much in our system that we don't even realize that we need that. So first we need to realize that, okay, if I give my power away, at a point someone is going to take it and tell me what to do. So it's not about saying that about Trump and president that you don't give your power away. It's about looking at how this person triggers you and what does it need to solve within you that you don't feel is power. That it's not anymore a question of you and me. It's a question of, you are crazy, man, you know? And I live my life. If I want to take care of those people, I will take care of it. If I don't want to, I mean, just like you explained for the people coming and taking an immigrant coming, they don't stay if there is no work. They come for work. So, but if a lot of Americans are giving work back then, so they don't pay the taxes, so this, so that, so this, so that, so then they come. Because we know, and there is the telephone, you just need to call your family and say, yeah, you just need to come, and yeah, you come from this side, and you come, and I have a job for you. And that's it. So before we look at the one we being there saying, we need to do something, we need to look at ourselves. Because the irritation that we get there is, I really sometimes heard people complaining about immigrants, but taking people there, paying them less and thinking, oh, that's okay. I say, how is it coherent in your mind? How do you want to help? You just want to complain there, but you don't do anything to help too. So why is the power there? Feel the need to do something? It's because we down there also do something where he thinks, oh, I need to change something, because otherwise it's not going to change. And that's how we get so much rules and laws and this and that, and then we are more and more put like this. But it's not only because of them, it's because we give power away. When I pay an immigrant, I cannot say then I'm against immigrants. I need to be coherent with myself.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. I mean, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint, honestly, that the power is being given. It's a transaction there.
Yeah.
You know, it's offered, but it's being given at the same time. So ultimately, you know, the people with the least amount of power end up with the least amount of opportunities, the least amount of justice and freedom and whatever it is, which is why, unfortunately, being manipulated by that transaction of power is what puts that person in that situation. Because at the end of that video, that young woman was arrested and detained by ICE and probably sent back to the South America, wherever she's at, Mexico, Peru, wherever she came from. Yeah, she got sent back. That was the end of that video, was her actually, them doing a cover story on her a few weeks later, where she was actually detained and sent back home. And we've seen that. Yeah, we have multiple stories like that. There is even a video. I'm going to have to, I'll probably add that to this video as well. There's this video of this band that before, when Trump was running for president, it was such a power vacuum where people were like, let me praise him and he will do stuff for me. So what they ended up doing was this band created this really cool song for him. It was like, I will vote for Donald Trump. It was like all this cha-cha and mariachis, and, you know, it was like 12 people on stage and they were dancing and doing their stuff like that, you know? And the song was like, I will vote for Donald Trump. Me and my wife laugh about it all the time, only because the hypocrisy of it. The end of that video is that woman's husband got arrested by ICE, and her husband got sent back to Mexico, and she's now she's now being interviewed by this news person, and she's bawling, and she's like, "I hate you, Donald Trump. I hate you," and all this stuff. She didn't understand that by you trying so hard to align yourself with power, you didn't read between the lines. The funniest thing I can say about our president is that, and a lot of people will say that I'm wrong on this, but he is not a liar. He ain't lied to you one time. You know what I mean? You just didn't listen hard enough to hear what he was saying. He said he was going to do sweeping raids on illegal immigrants. He ran on that. Now, the people who were of Hispanic descent read that as he's going to get rid of illegal immigrants who do crime. Okay? He stated that he was going to get rid of bad guys who were immigrants, but he never said, I'm also not going to get rid of the people who work hard over here who are trying to get their freedom. He just basically said in a nutshell, I'm getting rid of immigrants and illegal immigrants, to the point where before he came into office, I want to say that they said we had an estimated 30, 40 million illegal immigrants in this country. And every day across our borders, there was over 500,000 immigrants coming into the country. We're down to like 20 illegal immigrants coming in the country now. And all of those immigrants who are in the country, illegal immigrants, are being detained. No matter what and who or what they did, they're being attacked. They're being snatched off the street. They're pulling up in vans. Like, you sound Hispanic, grab them. We'll figure it out later. So they didn't listen to what that person was saying. They went with their hearts, but they didn't listen with their logic. And that's why we have these problems that we're having over here. There's another point that I want to bring about, and I ask you about this. So in this country, we're Black people. In this country, I've said this countless times. We have always guided this country with justice, morality, culture. We've led the way on changing this country and creating the conditions so that immigrants, illegal or not, people who are coming in from Africa, Spain, Canada, Asia, everywhere around the world, people have been able to come to this country because of the contributions of African Americans that paved the way for them to be there. The juxtaposition here is that all of those people who I just mentioned, they don't value the African American voice. As a matter of fact, they try to align themselves with the white, not white people, but white supremacist ideology, because they pander to the powers that be, which is, this is a white country, and nationalists and white supremacists and these people don't, clearly because of what I just stated about Black people, they don't care about us per se on a lot of different levels. So these people come over to our country and they try to align themselves with that, and they usually end up getting that spanking. And if they'd have just,
They getting what?
They end up getting spanked, okay? in a metaphorical sense. They get spanked. And what I mean by that is they get mistreated, right? They thought that they could align with power, and then they don't understand that when it comes to white supremacy, all minorities are in the same category. You might as well come and work with the African Americans who have always progressively pushed this country. They look at us as, so I've watched a few videos where like a lot of people have said like, from other countries, they say like, they don't know what they got. They got it so good over there. If I was over there, I'd do this. Or people who are over here say that, they say like, we're better than them. We're not like those African Americans and stuff like that. but then they end up like right now we have the Somalian people. Now they're raiding. Now they're putting ICE operations on Somalian people here too, and Somalians have historically tried to like disassociate themselves with the African American culture. So it's what I want to ask you is, do you deal with that overseas in your country as well, like that disconnect with, because Africans around the world have been progressive in all countries. Do you have to deal with that as well, where like immigrants maybe come into your country and they don't necessarily appreciate the things that our people have done over there?
Yeah, it's I would say the problem of Black people in general is everywhere, but I would more here and a little bit less there, a little bit like this. But we have the same. I remember that for me, that was one of the problems I was experiencing living in France, that they were receiving a lot, and then I had something like, yeah, but I don't get anything. I don't get anything. I don't get anything because I'm Black. I don't get anything because I'm French, and but I need to, and I need that. So I was really, I remember at the time I was really angry. What I didn't realize at the time, because I was angry. And I was really like thinking, yeah, why is it like this? And why don't they see? Because when they come, indeed, hello, they don't see us. So I was thinking like, how do you think that you are better? I mean, that's also one person telling me, you are a monkey, climb. That was an immigrant who told me that also the first time. It's not white people too, but it was the first time. So you think, yeah, what do you think? I think that the bigger, and there is a bigger problem, because when we look at each situation like this, they kind of say the same thing. What they say is the way that the people reacting on us like this is also the way that we stand. So, and what I mean by that is that if they feel some way superior to us, it means that in some way we feel inferior to them. Just like I said to the power, you give the power away. That's a question of power. When you own your own power, when you know who you are, when you know what are your qualities, you don't need to fight for them. You just are, and the people see more people being. I would say I just take you the example for me. When I saw Viola Davis, I was like, oh my, she owned it.
Yes.
She owned her Black being and her story, and her, she owned it in every way possible. So if you ask me, yeah, Black people there own it. Take an example, and go for it and look at yourself and realize that you are able to do exactly what she does. Wow. The only difference is do you believe in yourself or not? She needed to believe in herself to be there, to do those roles. I mean, and that I look at that, I can't even cry or feel with her. She needed to work on that. She didn't happen to be Viola Davis in the movie or in the series. She needed to work on that, to believe first in herself. That's where it begins. And I believe that even an immigrant coming in the country, seeing Viola Davis, will have some difficulties to say, I'm better than her. Because she owns her own power.
Wow.
So this exchange needs to change. It's not anymore outside. What you see outside is you. So if someone is seeing me lower, it's me putting myself lower. When I put myself lower, I don't see that I do it. When I don't put myself lower and I'm here and you tell me something to pull me down, I just look at you like this. I don't even get it, what you want. You understand? Because there is no resonance within me to accept, to understand what you say, because it's just a projection of what you think about me, but it's not me. Because I own my power. I don't care about you. If you want to see, okay. If you don't want to see, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you don't count in my life. You are not going to do something. It's me. We need to do what I want to reach what I have in mind or in my heart. Nobody else can do it. And if I would say something about God, well, if God did something, he created us. He gave us breath. He made sure that we were here, able to move, to do whatever we want. Please, if you believe in God, believe that he gave you everything that you needed to become the best version of yourself, because he is your father. Point. If he is your father, he gave you everything that he is. You just need now to dig in and to find out, because it's there. Nobody can give you the power that you give away. You need to take it back.
Well said. Well said. Now the last part of this is the woman who is laughing. Okay. I found that, people think that you laugh at those videos because what somebody is going through is funny. Sometimes you're just laughing because the other person is laughing. And that is the funniest thing about the video. That black woman at the end, I presume she's black, she is laughing at this woman who is clearly suffering, at this point because of this error in judgment that she made. I don't know how I feel too much about that either. I've seen those videos, and I don't know if it's right to laugh, but I do see the humor in the fact that we told you so, right? Because African Americans have been pushing against this administration since it started getting off the ground. And there's a huge I told you so factor, which is why it is humor in that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I condone that or not. I'll let you end on that. What do you think about laughing at other people's pain? Give us some spiritual advice on that. We clearly could use it over here as black people. We always laughing at people.
Yeah. Somewhere I think laughing is a way of releasing something. There is something behind this laugh. That is exactly what you said. We told you so. You didn't listen. Now it's happening. So this laugh is almost like, I was not crazy. It means way more than only laughing at the situation. When we only look at the laugh, we can judge. But when we hear the whole situation, just like you explained it just before, it's something way deeper. It's something that comes from, you never hear me, you never see me, and I told you, you didn't listen, and now it happened, you see, I am right. You know what I mean? It goes sometimes way further than we think. So I wouldn't judge. I would like to ask what is behind. Why did you laugh? Instead of judging her laugh, I would love to know why. Because all the things that I say is what I believe it is, but maybe she has another answer. And as long as I don't ask her what is the answer, I will not know. But I truly believe that there was a little bit of, it was a black person. So that there was a little bit of this history, because you, American people, are in the middle of it. So from me, from the perspective of outside, I can judge, but I don't live that life. I am not in the shoes of this person to see that and to think, wow, it's so ridiculous, in fact, that it even happened. Because
it didn't. Yeah, it didn't have to go down like this.
Yeah.
It did not have to go down like this. I'm in the middle of everything. I'm a middle swing voter, but I can honestly say, with the power of the minority vote across the board in this country, this administration would not be here if they hadn't tapped into that spirit of making people believe that they were going to gain power from them coming in. So that's the unfortunate side. Hey, everybody, I'd like to thank Kettie, Lollia of Method for Life. Very, very incredible person. And she does some very amazing work out there, helping people to find power, to awaken their soul, to heal their trauma. I would definitely look into her if you are experiencing any of those things that I just mentioned. She's going to be a wonderful, wonderful person to walk you through this process. I believe she does about 20 sessions. And, you know, it's easy ways to get in contact with her. Don't play yourself, okay? Don't end up being a fool, okay? Don't play yourself. So thank you, Kettie, for once again being a wonderful part of our community and sharing your insight and your logic and your wisdom and all that great stuff with them, okay? I want you to have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me the possibilities to speak with the community also and to tell them how powerful they are. All
right, cool. Power to the people.
Yes, power to the people, to everyone. Power. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, you have a good day. I know you got some more work to do. You got some healing, some people you need to heal today. So I want you to have a good day. All right. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Till next time.